So look, the search for Director of Football is over. As we brought you on the video this morning, Niels Koppinen is the Director of Recruitment. But someone who's got less of a mention is this guy here, a guy called Tom Taylor. And I know a lot of people are thinking, who the hell is Tom Taylor? Good morning, or good afternoon, good evening. Welcome to Glasgow Rangers Nation with me, your host, Owen. Thanks for joining us again, guys. If you haven't subscribed yet, remember this channel brings you daily news. It is free. We are not a Patreon site. We're not going to hide behind a paywall. So please, obviously, hit that sub, come and join the channel and keep viewing the content. That is the best way to support the channel. There's also the super thanks button, guys, if you do want to donate any cash towards helping run the channel. So look at it this way. We have now got a situation where the Ross Wilson role has been taken and has been divided into two parts, which is probably, quite sensible in a way. Someone is there to focus on recruitment and the development of the link between the first team and the youth teams and the underage teams, which I think is obviously what the role Niels Koppinen is ideally for, given the fact that that's a role that he's done at PSV Eindhoven. Now, the addition of the guy called Tom Taylor. Now, this is on the performance side of things. Now, reading between the lines, it seems very much this is about sports science, this is about fitness, this is about, again, developing a style, developing a common level of fitness and a common level of expectation around playing style, fitness levels, etc., across the entire club, and a common development of that identity across the entire club, which is something I think we've been crying out for a long time. It's important. I really do think it is important to have from the underage groups, the very youngest people, the players that come into our academy, at the ages of 9 and 10. To have expectations that are clear and a progression set out that is clear, so they can see a progression from the very first moment they join the club to hopefully some years down the line running out of Ibrox in front of our fantastic fans and playing in our amazing jersey. That's what they want to do. That's what these guys are doing. Ross McCausland is the latest example of that, and we want to increase the number of people coming through. That is the way that clubs are developing. It also seems that the whole thing as well is about further developing this new coaching and scouting setup that has been put into place. I think for years now we've fallen behind, other top European clubs. And look, I don't think it's realistic to compare ourselves at this moment in time with English clubs like Arsenal, Manchester City, Manchester United, Chelsea, Liverpool, etc. Because the financial difference between Scottish football and English football, the financial difference between English football and any football is quite remarkable. The amount of money they have swirling around down south of the border is absolutely amazing. But England, you look at our club and you look at our turnovers, our revenues, etc., and it is very similar to the Dutch giants, PSV, Feyenoord, and Ajax, all of whom compete on the European stage, all of whom are able to recruit good quality players who they then develop and sell on for vast sums of money, mainly to English Premier League clubs, obviously. So this is the route I think that the club are very much set on going down, and that explains the appointment of Niels Koppinen. But Tom Taylor, who is Tom Taylor? What is Tom Taylor? Why is he? Why him? This is kind of I think the expectation was very much that the club went out, appointed a director of football, one single director or sporting director, whoever that be, Sam Jewell, Carlos Bocanegra, Craig Moore, Dimitri Deconda, whoever it may be. But they decided to split the role in effect. So Taylor is a 32-year-old sports scientist. He will join from the 22nd of December. So he's 20 days away from making his official move from Brighton and Hove Albion to Rangers. Brighton and Rangers have had a few links in the past, with Davy Weir going down there, Gordon Smith, ex-Rangers player. There's a few links there between the clubs. Abad Al-Asima here on loan from Brighton. And, Brighton really have shown with the way they have kind of moved from the Championship to the Premier League in terms of their fitness, in terms of their performance, in terms of their recruitment, in terms of everything. They have really pushed their club forward and are competing for a top 10 place with some clubs with vastly massive revenues that are higher than them, because of the fact that they are Manchester United, they are Arsenal, they are Chelsea, they are Aston Villa, whereas Brighton are able now to compete due to the model that they put into place. And I think our club seems to be wanting to follow that sort of model to try and put into place a competitive structure that will help this club to develop and move forward. Now, Taylor has been with Brighton for 4 years. And he is the club's first team strength and conditioning coach. Certainly something, the Brighton are a team that do have a good record of fitness, do have a good record with injury, do have a good record with injury recovery as well here south of the border. He has also worked in Scottish football previously as well. He was head of fitness at Hearts and first-team fitness coach as well with West Ham United. So he has a vast CV of experience working with a number of clubs and some big clubs as well, like West Ham United, for example. So, he's also has a knowledge of Scottish football due to his time with Hearts. Taylor has a first-class honours degree in sports science from Swansea University, and he also spent time as well carrying out research and has a master's degree in sports science as well. So, his background in terms of sports science, fitness, dietary, conditioning, strength and conditioning is all clear and in place there. And he has an excellent track record at the clubs that he's been at. Now, it does seem that this is another move by the club to take really seriously this desire Philippe Clement has to improve the availability of our players, to make sure that, as he said in the past at his previous clubs, he's had 90 to 95% availability of players for games. And, in the past, that is certainly not something Rangers have had. And we know that the past has been a situation where players go down injured and it's described as being a minor injury and it's described as being a minor thing. And then suddenly we're out for an entire season, or we're out for 4 months or 3 months in the case of some, like Tom Lawrence for last year, for example. So it does seem there was a serious move by the club by bringing in someone with this degree of knowledge in sports science, this degree of knowledge in fitness work, conditioning work, that there is a real clear aim here at the club to improve that throughout the entire sporting structure of Rangers, right from the underage groups all the way through to the under 21s, the B team, and of course the men's first team. What I've read and what I've found out is that Taylor will be working very closely, not only with Zeb Jacobs, the director of the academy, but also with Dr. Mark Waller, who is the head of performance and medicine at the club. So, he's got a clear role there to help in sort of supporting that general fitness level and general performance level. If we can get players to that highest fitness level, if we can get players at a point where they can perform as their best, when everything is right in their life and in terms of sports and in terms of their personal life as well, which is certainly something that I think Taylor is targeted towards, then we're going to have a much more successful club, a club where players will be able to show their best every single Saturday, Sunday, Thursday, Wednesday, Tuesday, whenever it is we do play. It seems this recruitment that they've done in terms of Coppinen and Taylor is really clear in a vision to move this club forward, that we are going very much down that route of moving this club towards being a 21st century club that uses modern sports science, that uses modern technology, that uses modern data analysis to bring in the best players, to get those players ready, fit and good to go and ready to play for us on a weekly basis, 2 or 3 times a week, which is now obviously the demand on modern footballers. I, for one, welcome this change because for me, for too long, Rangers has been run like, it was still the 1980s, early 90s. Football has moved on massively in the last 20 years. Football of the 1980s is gone now. The fitness levels and what was acceptable in terms of that have just gone. It is time for us to move towards being like one of those top Dutch clubs, like some of the English Premier League clubs, in the way they set up their scouting, their performance and their recruitment models. I, for one, think this is a very good appointment of Taylor. I do welcome him and I hope that he will be able to help with sorting out, obviously, the fitness issues we've had at this club long term and across the entire sporting structure of our great club. Guys, let me know what you think in the comments down below. Obviously, if you haven't subscribed yet, please hit that sub, ring that notification bell so you never miss out on the great content. And on the way out, there's always 2 things I ask of you, isn't there? Number 1, smash the like. It helps the video. And number 2, always remember, we are the people.